this is my place, and we're going to look at putting a RUST-OLEUM garage floor epoxy coat down. So overnight I prepared the floor, so it's been scrubbed, it's got an acid etch. Just about to lay the taping down so that I don't get all over the bricks when I do the coat. So this is the RUST-OLEUM epoxy shield kit here. It should be enough to do the job, I hope. Also putting the anti-slip additive in so that when it's wet it doesn't become too slippery. Basic tools to do the job. So we've got the larger roller, concrete paving roller, brushes to go around the edges. What I did the cleaning last night with is scrubbing brush, just a standard everyday scrubbing brush, nothing special about that. It's got a squeegee on the back side of it. It's kind of a little difficult to use because it's so small. So I went out from our local supplier over here in Australia, which is Bunnings, and got this squeegee. It's a foam type squeegee. I just used the same pole actually that is to be used with this kit. There's the rest of the acid etch patch or packet that you mix with the water and chuck it on, and then just the metal scraper that I use to scrape the floor when needed. So hopefully it all turns out well, and as you can see, here it is. And first of all I'm going to tape that up and then get into rolling it. So enjoy the video, and hopefully it's helpful to someone else. So here I'm just going to lay down the tape. Because I'm going to paint over here later with a different paint, probably a darker type paint. I'm not going to bother about taping that and making sure that it doesn't get anything on it. I'm just on my hands and knees at the moment, so this is kind of interesting. So I think I'll just put another piece across here just so that I don't get the rest of it. So this is just standard masking painter's tape, Pro Green, again from our local supplier over here. Nothing special, but they guarantee that it doesn't leave a residue behind, adhesive residue, which I guess you don't want everywhere. So as I'm doing this, I can see actually there's some loose stuff coming off. So I'm going to have to use a blower and clean that out. So you can see the surface is actually quite good. It's relatively clean after the scrub and the etch. I chose to do that last night before filming this video, actually, because basically because I wanted to dry beforehand, and just to get on with the painting during the day. So it did dry overnight, which I'm happy about. This area from here onwards, from here to this, I will paint with a paint that actually can withstand UV light. So as you can see over here in Australia, the sun is pretty intense. So it wouldn't take long for the epoxy actually to go yellow in that case. All right, so I'm just going to start moving on to the next step. I'm going to blow it out, and then from there, basically, you're going to start laying the epoxy down. So just going to start preparing this one. So grab the roller. This roller actually we're not going to use. This is a normal painter's roller. Don't need that for now. So I'll just put that one aside. Going to go to this concrete paving roller. Stick that on, just in case there's anything that's going to come off. What we'll do, just hitting everything on the way through. What we'll do is we'll just run this roller through. Oops. Okay, that doesn't really work. We'll maybe try it a different way. So just doing this to get any lint or anything out, because we don't want that stuck in our epoxy floor. So you can just see there, just something small came out, and some other fibers. Kind of hard to see because they're white, but you have to take it for what it is, and yeah, just to clean it up. Anyway, we'll put that aside. Should probably put that somewhere clean, because this is a brand new house, literally brand new. There's just some leftover building stuff that I've still got here that I've got to get rid of. Alrighty, so just use a painter's tray, blow that out. I think there's two versions. This one's the one that has the burst pouches, whereas I saw that there was another one that had the paint tin cans that you mix them separately. So, or you mix those instead of the burst pack. These are the flakes for the floor. It's going to be interesting putting these on and getting a fairly consistent effect without overdoing it. Let's get our paintbrush ready. So we're going to use the paintbrushes to cut in the edge. So with this, these are basically El Cheapo or low-end type paintbrushes. Hopefully the bristles don't come out like that if there's any. So hopefully that'll be good for the job. All right, so here's the epoxy. This is garage grey. So, just get the knife, cut that open. Hopefully all you guys can see that. Alright, so as you can see, part A, part B, and this strip separates the two. And yeah, you just need to kind of squeeze it, and eventually that will break. So there we go, that's now open. So now that's, as you can see, I can pull this apart. I've technically started already mixing it. So what we need to do is keep mixing this. I guess try to be somewhat careful with it, so that you don't get in a situation where you pop the whole bag on and then need to clean that up as well. In the instructions, I think it says to mix this for 3 minutes. I guess if you really wanted to be on top of it, you could sit there and recognize my face. That's interesting. So we'll just use a timer and just set it for 3 minutes. We'll start. So because we've got 2 packets, so there's a second one in here. With the anti-slip, I'm going to have to kind of see. Yeah, so that's approximately up to here. So we're just going to have to do it by eyeball and get enough in there. So the temperature over here is approximately 26-27 degrees Celsius. That'll affect the drying time, so I think what I'll do is I'll actually just pour a bit out into this container here, and then because I don't need the anti-slip additive, I'll just paint directly from that, and then I'll leave the majority of it in the bag. And then put the anti-slip into this and mix it again, and then start the rolling process. So just going to continue. So still got a minute to go. Kind of feels like I'm actually not doing much. Alright, 18 seconds left. Sorry, it's probably not exactly the most exciting thing to see somebody just tossing this thing around, but it's part of the process. The last thing you want is it not to be mixed thoroughly and end up with something that doesn't cure. So what I'm going to do here, just pop the edge open. So once you've started mixing this, basically you're running against the clock. Because it is a two-part epoxy, it is a one-time thing. So what we'll do is probably not the smartest idea, but let's just leave that there. Alright, grab our paintbrush. Again, just make sure no bristles are coming out. And I'm just going to quickly do the areas that are going to be difficult for the roller to get in without making too much of a mess everywhere. So the quicker that. Alright, we've actually gone right round. Just coming up to the last part, or the part that you saw me start with. So far it's actually been pretty nice and pretty easy to work with, being water-based. One thing I did notice actually is that even if you get it on your hand, this is just a wet wipe, so to say. Over here, the ones that we got are like just Piner Clean. It's just from the local supermarket. But the good thing, you see that's been sitting on there for a second, is that easy to clean up, which is nice. Using a true solvent-based epoxy, that wouldn't be coming off your hands like that. Yeah, so that's a good thing about this type of water-based cleanup or epoxy. All right, so just get a little bit more over there. Again, with this garage, actually, it's literally a brand new house, so no cars have been parked in this, nor has it had any equipment or anything else. So I'm lucky that the concrete is actually fairly clean already. But you still be surprised that even though it's fairly clean, there's still always bits on it that you need to get off. And I thought I got it all off before, but as you know, you can see the marks around here that actually there's still more that always seems to show up after you've done it. Just thinking ahead, actually, just with these divots here, because this is open concrete, it'll absorb a little differently to the rest. So what I might do is actually just cover those up. If there's anything else, just blend it a bit so there's no hard line of where it was. And that should help to even it out once we do the roller on it. Hopefully that doesn't show up though. When you got the garage door open, I guess you got to be careful that dirt and dust doesn't, or let's say dust, or whatever debris, leaves or whatever, doesn't get washed in or blown in. Otherwise you'll be picking that out of your paint, which won't leave you with such a great result. Alright, so alright, we'll get back to that one a little bit later. Alright, so with this, just gonna sit that down. May as well make use of this plastic. Chuck that in there so we don't get it everywhere. Alright, so now what I was saying before is that I'm going to add some of this anti-slip additive. It's just aluminium oxide. So aluminium oxide is pretty much the same, or actually is the same thing in most sandpapers. This is a fairly fine grit. Alright, so we're approximately up to here on the packet. So we're going to chuck some in. This is probably not the smartest way, like I guess if you put it in a container. A metal tin, that would probably be some sort of mixing container would probably be a better option. But at the moment I'm kind of a little bit tight on cash, so if I strictly don't need to use it, then yeah, I'm not planning to. Alright, now we need to think ahead, because we're going to mix that up and paint. Obviously we're here near the door, so I better bring that one on the outside, because I won't be able to get to it unless I walk through the house. So we'll just put that over here out of the sun. Alright, now Just need to get into mixing this as quick as possible. I'm going to fold it over. So hopefully that's mixed enough. All right, let the fun begin. Oh, that's actually a bit too much because of the leveling here. All right, what we'll do is we'll put this out of the way. And just do it over here. All right. Next thing we need is the flakes. We're going to need to chuck those on later. What I might do is start this way and work in. Alright, so bring this over here. Alright, so we've got our roller that's been delinted. I don't see anything really sticking off it. So here we go. This is a 270 millimeter roller. It's a millimeter. It's the larger size that we use in Australia. So here I'm just doing it with small overlaps. So you can see the holes, they're actually quite difficult to fill in. So far this seems no different to doing a wall for that matter, with normal household paint. It seems to be going on quite easy, quite nicely. This procedure is obviously very different to doing like a flow coat, for example, that you would literally pour it on and use a squeegee or a spreading tool to just run it around and then let it self-level. That's a different type of epoxy, or a different type of floor coating, I should say, and that's not what we're doing here today. This is just more the DIY style coating, floor coating. I guess with anything, sky's the limit on how far you want to go with doing your floors. But you prepare these things and have it set up, the easier it's going to be. So with this, I wouldn't worry about brush strokes and things like that at this point in time, because we'll actually bring the roller right up to the edge. So again, this area here and so on, it's going to be painted a different color. I'll probably do it similar to my gutters and things like this, so that it all looks part and parcel and matching the house. As you can see, it's going on fairly easy so far. This is just a nylon bristle brush. It's not a fancy style or finishing style. Basically, I expect that this will go in the bin later. So yeah, I'm not too concerned about it. Alright, I'll continue with this, and I'll cut back to the video when this part is done. So stay with us. I do know some friends of mine that have done really nice jobs of their floor, which you can see that or basically it looks like clouds. They've done it with metallic paint, or metallic epoxy, not a paint I should say, which has flowed in. Huge job there, and very different in the pricing. The price of this, I think, maybe is a quarter or a quarter of what he spent on his. Although, you know, his place looks quite amazing. Not really what I was looking to spend to do this one on this floor. Alright, just I'm gonna go over this all together to do a second roll. It's actually quite easy. You can see the color is going darker as it's starting to cure, whichever way you want to call it, which is making it quite easy to see where I'm up to. Alright, now that we've done that, I'm just going to put this down, grab some of these flakes, and hopefully not make a mess everywhere. I'm going to start in the corner that look at that massive chunk. Obviously we don't want that in the paint, so put that over here. Supposed to leave an edge. Don't bring right up to the don't bring it right into this area, because we're going to paint that and kind of don't want it stuck in the paint, or the new layer of paint that we're doing. I guess it's really up to you how fine or how dense you want this this stuff. Well, I'm gonna have to stand over here. Alrighty, seemed fairly straightforward. Happy days. Put that over there. Alright, let's do our next batch. Pull that over. So I guess how quick and how much you put down would also depend on your temperature of the day. If it's too hot, then you won't have enough time to get to the second, or you won't have enough time to get right round. You'll probably end up with patches and so on, which you don't want. You want it as even as possible. You need to be careful with your calculations as well. This kit is supposed to do basically a 2-car garage. I guess everybody's idea of a 2-car garage is different, but I figured that I could make it do. I hope I don't run out, because I had to specially order this in. The local hardware supply stores over here doesn't have this particular color in stock. It only comes in 2 colors, but they've only got a light tan or this gray. The gray was out of stock, so I had to order it in from a online supplier. So it would really really not be good if I ran out. But I've got about half a bag or a third of a bag left. Still got that, so we're a third of the way in. So I think we'll be able to make it. So all right, I better get a move on with the sprinkle stuff. I'll just put that in here again. Again, my hands are so far pretty clean actually. It's really liking that it's easy to clean up. So depending on how we go with this, I might or might not put a, oops, a bit too much there. May or may not put a clear coat on this one. So we'll have to see how it goes. I'll give you guys a before and after, and then yeah, we'll decide if we need it or not as we go. I've seen some videos online of other guys that have done this. They seem to be doing it from what appears to be fairly even. You know, like in here I've been somewhat careful with it, but I can see that it's not 100% even. So I might actually just chuck some bits in there to even it out. Yeah, that's looking the part. I'll chuck this down again and go for our next line. With this sort of stuff, you should actually be paying attention to the time, so you know your pot life. But in saying that, it kind of doesn't really matter, because you just got to get it down and done. If you sit there and take too long, then it's not going to help you. Well, basically it's going to dry and become solid before you get to finish it. So I think the best way is literally just to get it down as quick as you can and move on. and that way you shouldn't be having too much trouble. I've seen that also when taking too long between coats and areas, that for example, if the concrete is porous, it will absorb differently between layers, and you could end up with a checkered floor, a checkered patch. And that's basically because it absorbs in, starts to cure, and as it cures, then what will happen is that the next layer you put on the top won't sink in, or won't penetrate, and then it'll be uneven. So you really want to be careful with that. Again, not leave it too long between coats. So what I'll do is, so another issue as well is you see the rollers coming off the side. I guess it's because it's a cheap ass roller. There you go, shove it back in. Well, it's not really that cheap, but it's an economical price roller. It wasn't the most expensive, wasn't the cheapest. And you get what you pay for. But in saying that, you can get the most expensive tool and not know how to use it, and still end up with a crappier result in the first place. So again, it's buy what you feel would do the job, and be competent at doing it. So you can see here it's fairly even, the patchiness is gone. So again, we'll pull this away and we'll get back to our chips again. And one thing I'm not liking is that some of these chips are really fat and chunky. It's obviously going to stick up, and be not so great. It's a little bit difficult to sort that out as you're doing it, or how you see me doing it. I'm actually doing this barefoot. I figured it'd actually be easier to clean my feet than to clean my shoes. Alright, again, just going back any areas that I see that aren't great. This is a new estate that I'm living in. We get all sorts of interesting cars and kids coming through on their bikes. But this is the nice thing about Australia is that we like doing these outdoor sort of things. All right, so gonna keep going again. Put that over here. Make sure the roll is still pushed in. Clean my hand. Alright, I need to pull that out of the way. Put it over here. Hopefully it won't leak everywhere. What I might do is I'll continue this, and then I'll pause the video though in the meantime, and bring you guys back when I'm mixing the second stage. So we're pretty much halfway at the moment, which is good. Alright, actually I'll chuck this over this side. Alright, continuing on. Alright, I'll just continue, and I'll resume the video when we mix the next batch up, and yeah, we'll see you then. So this is where we're up to so far. We're actually past the halfway mark. Looks like I'm actually going to have plenty of paint to work with, so I might actually go heavier on this front side. So that's actually what you're seeing is one bag. It's 1, 2, 3. It's approximately 5 meter by 1, 2, maybe 6 or 7 meters, and that's the coverage that we've got so far, and that's been not too conservative. I've just been literally slapping it on. So yeah, it seems the coverage is pretty good. So again, that was one bag, and just about to crack open the second bag. So this is the second bag itself. I've actually only gone through, well, it's had just more than half a bag of that of the speckles, and I still got a little bit of paint in that tin over there, so I might just give my hands a quick wipe before stuff sets. Again, this stuff seems pretty straightforward. Feet are clean, all good. All right, so I'm going to bust this one again. There we go. She's open. Just going to pull that apart so the seam is done. All right. The dreaded 3 minutes of mixing. Anyway, you don't need to see this done again. I'll cut the video for now, and then I'll bring you guys back in when I start doing the rest of the coats. Stay tuned. All right. I'm gonna pull that out of the way. So over here, kind of getting to the last meter and a half, I should say. Turned out that I've got plenty of paint to spare. So although you generally want to keep the keep your coating or the layers the same, so that you end up with an even result, I'm just going to go a bit heavier on the front here rather than wasting it. The front side of the garage, I should say. Hopefully it's not doesn't show and become a high and low spot. It's the last thing last thing we want, or let's say a difference in gloss or texture or finish or something. So I spilt some stuff over there before, we'll just go straight over it. Hopefully it doesn't pick off later. Just actually make sure that's rubbed in. Just filling up any of the big holes as well. I know there's tons of videos of, well, not tons, I know there's a few videos online of people laying this epoxy down on the floor. I haven't seen any local videos, not to say that there isn't any, but I haven't seen any that were done in Australia. They seem to be mostly American videos and so on, or videos in the States. It might be that the brand is just more popular over there than it is here, but it is available here from our local hardware store or supplier, Bunnings, the bigger one. Pretty soon I'm going to have to put the tray and everything outside. I have to put some cardboard down so that I don't drip on the driveway. That's a sealed driveway, needs a wash off, but that's actually all the dust and dirt from last night that came out of here. Yeah, so I've got some cardboard in the car. I'll grab that in a minute and put it down. So far my hands and everything is still clean, which is surprising. Usually I'm quite good at making a mess. Better check that underneath of there is done. Might actually do that corner while I'm at it, and then come back to it. So oh shit, I just put paint there. Better get a wipe or something to clean that off before it sticks. Let's see how we go with this. Look at that, easy as. I think that won't be noticeable when it's done. Might get the paintbrush. Hasn't dried yet. Get the paintbrush and do this edge and corner over here. Obviously getting the roller in there is not going to happen. I need to get the vacuum cleaner and clean out that corner actually. Originally I wasn't intending on painting this, but I've got that much extra paint that I think I might as well. But I still have to put a coating over the top of it. Right. Finish that, put that away. Try not to do the same thing I just did a minute ago. Alright. There's that done. I'll just grab that cardboard. Bear with me. Just putting more of this stuff on. Trying to keep it as even as possible. It's kind of hard, but the good thing about this stuff is that it, because it's not a particular pattern, it's just random. You can get away with putting a lot or putting a little. Doesn't really seem to be too obvious. There we go. Looking good. So far I don't see that I've missed any patches. Let's get on to the next line. Just pour a bit more paint in there. This thing is actually still mostly full actually. It's kind of a shame. So we're about up to there. Still got plenty. Lean that way so it doesn't hit the touch the wall. Seems that this is easier than doing it this way than doing it with the paintbrush. I'm sure that there'll be someone that says, oh, you can't do it that way, whatever. But obviously you can do it. I don't really care if I ruin this roller. And the roller after this job's going straight in the bin. I don't have any more garage floors to paint. I guess when you get to the corner, you're really gonna have to use the paintbrush. There's no way around that. Just notice there's a few little spots. Must have been on my feet or something. Let's get those a wipe off. Grab another wipe. Yeah, that one will do. My foot's covered in the stuff. I must have trodden it quite a bit. Might actually hose off the driveway a bit later. So I'll get back into painting. Back in a second. Alright. Oh, a bit of crap in it there. Not exactly the most fun job on earth, but I guess it is rewarding when you see if the result turns out good. So as you can see here, I'm just literally piling it on. I've got quite an excess of paint here, so I can afford to do that.
Probably something, if I was to do it again, I would get better, is a better pole. As you can see here, this has got quite a bit of flex in it. It's a little bit annoying. It's not the end of the world, but it doesn't feel the most, doesn't give you a lot of confidence, I should say, that it won't snap off or something as you're using it. But that's what you get when you buy a $5 pole, and there's other poles that cost 40 bucks. But look, as I said, we're almost at the end of the job, so it's done well. What is a shame though is that with all this excess paint, I hate wasting stuff, but I really have no use for it. And you can't use this paint outside or anywhere that's exposed to the sun. So I really need to just let it cure and turn into a block, and then chuck it out. There's not much you can do. So we're coming to the last part of the main bit, or last part of the, let's say, the floor. But then we've got this area here that I'll do as well, and then have to come in with another type of paint over the top, so that it doesn't go yellow from the sunlight. Alright, so we've come to the last part. Might go over this once more. So with a paintbrush, or a paint roller, not paintbrush I should say, try to go half a roller over. You kind of get the idea as you do it, and you just need to wipe my foot, just trod in paint. You get the idea as you go. You want to get the coverage, the maximum coverage that you can, and yeah, the going half a roller is the easy way to do it. It's getting late in the afternoon over here. It's almost getting to sunset. I won't have too much natural daylight left, but as I said, we're almost done, so all good. Thanks for watching and sticking it out, and hope you guys all actually have a go at doing this yourself. It's really not that hard. All right. Coming to the last. Do a bit around there. Looking a bit thin over there. It's interesting, we're starting to hear the planes come back. It's been quite a while without planes due to COVID, but yeah, it seems that that's picking up again, and at least domestic travel over in Australia is here. International travel I don't think is happening yet. Oops, not good to stick your foot in it. Alrighty. So that was one packet. It's gone, and we've done pretty much the whole thing. So I'll actually just touch up an area over here. All good. It's fairly even right through, nowhere that we missed. Cool. All right. Well, that's it. I'll wait for this to cure. It's now in Australia, or in Sydney. It's now 4:52 PM. It's taken, what, probably 3 hours to do this sort of thing. And yeah, so not that hard, but not the world's biggest garage either. But big enough, I guess. Anyway, I'll turn the video back on a bit later and show you the result. Hang in there. Good day, everyone. This is the following day. As you can see, it's dry. It actually looks pretty good. Can't complain with it. So today I'm going to do the edges around the corner here with a monument color, which is actually to accent with the exterior of the house and so on. So I just got to peel off the tape around here, and then going to hook into painting that. So just a close up here, you can see it all looks fairly even. You can see my footprints over there, but that's only just from being dusty. But yeah, it's all looking good. This is getting close to, was it 20 hours after after the epoxy went down, or the shield went down, it seems to be fairly non-slip, so to say. But I think I need to just blow it out as well, and should be good. Anyway, I'll cut to it, do some painting, and then I'll cut and do a last shot for you guys, and then you can. So over here, I'm painting the area that is actually exposed to the sunlight. So as you can see, the door comes down on the track over here, and then this area is actually exposed when the door is down. So I'm using an oil-based paint. This paint is good because it won't go yellow like the epoxy would. Yeah, so I'm actually going to go right round as well and do inside that cupboard as well, and it'll all be that same color. So most of the house, actually, if you look closely, you can see that the gutters, the downpipes, the window framing is all this particular color, which is monument. So it all should look like it flows and flows nicely with the color scheme. So again, just bear in mind that if you're going to use epoxy, don't put it in an area that is exposed to sunlight, because it will go yellow and look horrible. And unfortunately, it's usually the first thing you'll see of a garage, so keep that in mind. Additionally, if you're going to have if you've got a garage that is actually with the door up most of the time, then you probably wouldn't want to use an epoxy-based paint anyway, for the simple reason it will go yellow. So just as I said, keep that in mind, and all good. All right, I'll keep going with this. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I'm sure that you've seen painting before. There's nothing real special as far as this goes. Just putting a fairly liberal coat on it. And the thing with this as well is because it's an oil-based paint, it will take a long time to dry. So something like 16 hours just before it even can be recoated. And walking on can be something like a couple of days. So don't really have the time to sit and watch it dry, but I'm just gonna have to come back and show you guys a bit later. So just bear in mind as well that because the garage door's got a rubber seal on the bottom, it will come down. So you do want to stop your garage door in the almost down position, or leave it up for the meantime, or even put something in the corner there so that the garage door can't close completely on itself. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going with this, and I'll show you guys later what happened. G'day everyone, this is how we're looking at the moment. It's not looking too bad. This is a few hours after I did the last coat that you saw, or basically what that you'd seen. So you can see that it's hard to say exactly how it'll look, but that's where we are right now. Should be tomorrow that I'll paint around there all the way around, and also down that side, and inside that cupboard as well. So yeah, it's just so far looking fairly good. It's surprising how easy this sort of thing is. Had a ton left to paint, or a ton of paint left actually. I could have done something probably a third larger than this with the 2.5 kit, or 2.5 garage kit. For some reason it seemed to have wet out pretty well. The coating wasn't too thick or anything like that, but yeah, it seems to have done well. So anyway, my name's Adrian, and glad that you watched the movie, or video I should say, and yeah, good luck with your projects. I'll do another take later in a day or so, when I've done the sides around here and cleaned it up. I've got to put some timber in the roof to put away the tiles over here. As you can see, they're all going up there in the manhole. These are 3 meter ceilings, so they're a bit higher than normal.
but yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge because normal A-frame ladders won't go that high. So you have to carry, lift it up, the last part. Anyway, all good, and show you the pictures later. Cheers.
G'day everyone. This is the getting close to the finished product. So we've got here the oil-based paint, which is good for the sun, and all the way around the edges over here and so on. It's all been painted. The tape makes it easy to get a straight line, so I've done that. Inside the cupboard as well, same deal. So yeah, so there you go. Not too bad. I'll fill up in here with polyurethane later. I've got the stuff ready to do it, just need to wait for the paint to dry. Unfortunately, it's going to take a bit of time because it's oil based, but yeah, all good. Anyway, enjoy. Thanks for sticking around through the video.